What is up, YouTube? iTeory here with another edition of iTheory. And in this edition I'm going to address why the iPhone 6 has been bending and whether or not there's Ebola in your iPhone 6. Alright, and also, if my microphone sounds a little bit low quality, just, turn your volume down because it's been kind of messing up for the past couple of days, but I'm going to jump right into this anyway. On the most ridiculous one, on the Ebola, no, your iPhone 6 does not contain Ebola. That was a hoax on a satirical website, basically. It was a hoax, it's not true. So, just relax on that one. It's just not true. There's no Ebola in your iPhone. So, yeah, that's that one already debunked. But now let's jump to the main event on why the iPhone 6 seems to be bending. And, what's the deal? Alright, in this picture, you see an iPhone 6, correct? Well, in this red circle right here, this is kind of like a manufacturer flaw, because it already comes like a natural bend, we'll say. So this is kind of like a manufacturer flaw. People that are bending these things are going straight for that spot, basically, and that's just where there's. Alright, let's say it's metaphorically. We'll say metaphorically, there's a hole in it, metaphorically. And that's just where it's been easily bent at because the manufacturer kind of screwed up. Alright, we got that out the way. Now let's establish how these things bend and how much actual pressure you would need to put on this. I've seen a couple of videos on these things bending, and I'm just thinking, wow. To actually bend one of these things, you would have to use a lot of force. Even if you actually do go for the quote-unquote weak spot, you'd have to use a lot of force. You'd have to intentionally try to bend this thing, basically. To actually bend this thing, which is supposed to be reinforced with steel, you'd have to actually intentionally want to bend this to prove a point. These phones aren't going to bend by accident. Now, there have been reports of people having these things in their pocket and they would bend, and that's understandable. So I would see how you would think these things are just going to bend all the time, but there's been no real confirmed issue with this. And also, that didn't just happen a couple years ago, touchscreen phones, when people kept them in their pockets and the body heat would mess up the screen. It's a manufacturer flaw. This is a new phone. It just came out, new technology. People are still trying to test it. But this iPhone bend is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life, honestly. Now, I'm not taking sides here on anything. I'm just saying specifically how I'm going to debunk this. To try and bend one of these things, like I said earlier, it would take a tremendous amount of force. And I've seen guys that are straining trying to bend these, but they end up bending them anyway. I'm gonna give you a little bit of an example. Okay. In every video I've seen, people have been using their thumbs. I'm gonna give you a mental picture. When you hold the phone horizontally, you grab it with your four fingers and you put your two thumbs on the back. The reason it's bending so easily is because you're putting leverage and pressure on it. That leverage and pressure it pretty much increases your strength, basically, and it's gonna make it bend when you have pressure from that leverage on it. Just like when you're doing a arm wrestling contest. It's not about strength really. The trick is to put leverage. So I'm gonna tell you how to not bend these, and why these things won't bend when you do it this way. I'll give you a mental diagram. If you hold the phone horizontally, put both your hands around it like you're making a fist. Don't use your thumbs. Put your hands around like you're making a fist and try to bend it that way. It won't bend because there's no leverage. It's much easier if you're bending it when you're using your thumbs on the back of it. It's much easier than if you're not using your thumbs at all. And that's why these things have been bending so easily, because people have been kind of exploiting this per se. It's kind of become an internet trend to try to bend one of these. And I'm about to deliver my verdict real quick on if the iPhone bends. My verdict is yes, the iPhone is bending, but only if you do it intentionally. If you have enough common sense to try and enjoy your iPhone and not try to bend it, then it won't bend, basically. And you should always be conscious And if you're keeping it in your pocket, just make sure basically your pants aren't too tight, I guess. If you're keeping it in your pocket. But like I said, the verdict is, if you're trying to bend these things intentionally, then they will bend. If you have enough willpower and enough thumb power to put on the back of these, it will bend. So my advice is to sort of try not to exploit this. Try to enjoy the phone for what it is. They will most likely, without a shadow of a doubt, release better models to come out to kind of fix this error. So I say, be patient, try not to bend these, and just enjoy. But anyway, this has been iTV, debunking 2 theories in 1 video. If you if I'm wrong, or if you disagree, then leave that in the comments. If I didn't cover something that I missed, I'll gladly link some more information in the description of my sources. And like I said, tell me if you disagree, or if I'm just an idiot. But until next time, I'll have more theories. I'm signing off now, peeps. Later.